when other people's lives are at stake. Your words are not light, and they're not taken lightly, especially by the victim. When you want to domineer the conversation and make everything about you, that shows extreme horrible nature, extreme selfishness. Through all of this, a lot of people have pretended to care about others, but they won't stop talking about themselves. I'm expected to understand them and their motivations and their fears, while they exploit mine. I'm expected to follow their boundaries while they walk all over mine. When predators are allowed to harm me across multiple jurisdictions for over a year and a half, and there are witnesses to the very beginning of it, like Logan and Shayna. From the very beginning, that interaction was on my channel. What did those police officers do in Hood River? They slandered me to James Murphy and to Logan Bishop and to his girlfriend Shayna. People end up on my channel when they do stupid things, like trying to throw their kids in my face. Fuck you. They threatened my friends and family. They wouldn't leave me alone. And then you will give them whatever the fuck they want just because I can't take care of myself. And you force me to spend all of my disability money that's supposed to be spent to take care of myself. I spend it running around trying to get help from a service that actually gives a shit, but they don't. So we're going to play a recording here. We're doing the same thing that we did with Shannon Alvarado when she pulled her bullshit. We're showing that when these people told us things that they didn't tell the police, we are the ones who are harmed. So we'll listen to Susan. We got a lot of recordings with her. This one is called Susan Encountered My Stalker from Hood River. If this is true, if what she told me is true, yeah, it should have been turned in right away, and that's partially my fault. I admit it. At the same time, I had to make sure that it was recorded just in case she pulled something like this or in case they pulled something like this. See, this is a problem with police corruption. The fact that they're just a big organized gang nationwide. You can't go to a woman for help. There's too many services that actually help them. They're going to be fucking clueless as to why you're being fucking ignored. Meanwhile, they talk to you about how horrible it is that there's no real services for men. Let's play this. Susan called me. I didn't have the ability to record it, so she called me and told the story, and I didn't record it, so I let her know I'd call her back so she could tell her story.
Hello.
Hey, Susan.
Yeah.
All right, I've got it so that it's able to record now, so you can go ahead and tell the story again.
Okay, yeah, I called you a few minutes ago to tell you that the stalker that you have from Hood River came into the parking lot at the library, and As soon as he saw your car, he sat there and started honking. And then he saw me standing there watching him. So then he turned the corner a little bit and was going over to park. And I told him he was wasting his time because you weren't in your car. And then he pulled up and asked me what Sean had told me about him. And I said, everything that I believe is true. And you are stalking him. And then I came into the library. And when I was leaving, he came in and he said that, he's talking about you too. And I said, yes, I know he is. I watch his videos. And then I walked out the door and he went into talk to the librarian. And that was the end of it. And he came back, got in his motorhome or his camper thingy, whatever it is, and drove out. And that was it.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that shows, like I was saying, he has been stalking my channel. The fact that he knew who you were, and, obviously with me not actually recording you on my channel, it's just...
Yeah, he didn't know me.
I'm going to pause it for a second. When it comes to me actually recording people's faces, there's specific instances where that happens. I record their faces if they're committing crimes. To my knowledge, I had to try to believe that every time that she didn't make it, that it was a legitimate issue. But also, this is the same stuff that resulted in Kara Johnson Miles getting away with her stuff in Colorado. And the Bollingers getting away with it. And I am tired of having to scream for help. I'm tired of having to beg people to care. When people say, oh, I know, then help me turn it in. Don't you want to change it? Or do you just want to complain about it? And what it turns out is that you just want to complain about it. You just want someone to listen to you whine. That's not why I made this channel. I made this channel because I am being abused for being different. The first thing that happened when Natalie Bollinger disappeared is that I ended up homeless instantly. The decisions that I made, I was pushed to because these were empty promises of who was going to help me. They didn't help me. They bullied me. They made a profit off of me. They sent me to other places, other jurisdictions for help. The problem is that I literally had to argue with mandated reporters who didn't want to do their jobs. Be true to your words.
Until he saw me watching, and he probably was thinking, oh, I need to smooth this over because I don't know who she is, but I've been honking and, acting a little weird. Of course, and then he smiled, that smile.
And you guys hear that? Is that not the description that I give about what he does every time he drives by my car? He lets me know he's in the parking lot by pointing his vehicle at me. By pointing his vehicle at me. And honking his horn. Or driving by as super creeper slowly as possible.
That Kurt's use. I'm sorry. I grew up with them. I know what they look like, and he had that smile.
Yo, and that's the thing about... That's right. Do you like it when I smile? Huh? Do you like it when I do it back? Do you like it? That old man targeted me because he was lied to by the cops. And it wasn't the first time that the cops tried framing me for what that other dude did. On an occasion just a couple of days before that incident with Hood River Police Department and Logan and Shayna, I had cops walk up on me by the Astro gas station put their hands on their fucking guns. If it wasn't for the lady at the gas station, they would have fucking shot me for telling them I'm not the right guy. Be true to your words. Don't scam other people. Don't take advantage of other people. Don't lie to other people. When you say you're going to help someone, you don't make it about yourself. You make it about the victim and you listen to their words. You don't mislead the situation. That's the thing with Susan calling me. When she called me and I was telling her, hey, I need to record this. Would you please stop talking 400 miles an hour? Because she was super excited. Now, what does this guy do? All he's got to do is pretend that, what? Zero goddamn evidence of what he's fucking saying. Zero fucking evidence. 2 weeks, no, he's been stalking me for a year and a fucking half. When I had the opportunity to leave here and drive that lady up, fuck yes, I took it. I needed gas money, and that dude was fucking stalking me here in the Tillamook Sporting Goods parking lot. He stalked me over at the Fred Meyer's parking lot. He came into Fred Meyer's specifically to be fucking antagonistic, and yes, it's recorded. He did this everywhere I went. I have to record for my safety and for the safety of my loved ones, to show where I am at all points in time, because I'm not going to have people threatening to kill my sister and kill my niece every time one of my predators ends up putting themselves in the grave. Be true to your words. Don't fucking scam me. With Logan and Shayna, the recording with them, I think I sent you that. I'm not sure if I did.
I saw that, and so it enables
same guy. See? We're going to play the recording with Logan and Shayna too. We also got recordings on here with Logan and Shayna about why they're afraid to go to the cops. We also got Logan saying on several occasions he's not afraid of the cops. And then I got recording after recording after recording of him running away as soon as the cops get there. You goddamn right I speak up. I do my damnedest to be true to my word. But that is difficult when I am victimized everywhere I go, and witnesses to these situations force me to go public with it. You get to see how nobody takes it seriously, because if they took it seriously, they would allow me a room to sit in. They would stop allowing people to take advantage of me for being disabled. They would stop letting people bully me when I can barely speak. When the people that you have to turn crimes into are the people committing crimes against you, and the people who promise to help you are constantly stabbing you in the back. You're damn right I step up. You're damn right I speak out. You're damn right I curse. Because talking nicely gets me blown off and talked over by everyone. They just want to antagonize the situation. Like that Officer Sadler earlier being a bully. He didn't need to be a bully. He needed to take it seriously. Now that we know that Susan was just bullshitting, that there was nothing wrong with her. Do we know that for certain? No, we don't. But the fact that I have to be petrified of this fucking tyrant, that I have to be afraid of this Murphy dude, everywhere I go, because nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares who hurts me. I've recorded how nonchalantly people treat it when Farnsworth was running around doing that stuff, and their intimidation tactics to the witnesses. None of these places want to be held responsible for their crimes. Hell, I only commit crimes when it's absolutely necessary. But at least I fucking admit to them. If I gotta break your fucking window to keep a child safe, I'll admit to breaking the window. When you're being abused as an at-risk adult, you have to go to police alone, you are screwed. And that is all. If you have friends or family who care, then you might stand a fighting chance. If you have friends or family who try to understand autism instead of exploiting it, then you might stand a chance. But all of these people have exploited my disabilities. They don't bother to find out what they are. Unless they're grilling me, and then they don't give me time. That's the problem with you not understanding us and not trying to understand us. That when we're overwhelmed, you go out of your way to do the same things that overwhelm you. Yes, they overwhelm us too. Through all this, not one person has come forward to say that I've raped them or molested them. Not one person. But I've sure had a lot of people yell at me that I'm a child molester as their excuse to harm me. And then we've got the police with their vigilante bullshit and wanting to protect their friends. They don't want their friends to get in trouble. They didn't want Ray Rao to get in trouble after he'd done so much to ignore me. I needed a safe room to be able to write this stuff down. It's the same thing I need now. And I don't have that. I can't function to write the things down myself because these staff members in all of these places, all of the hundreds of hours that I've spent going to meetings in this town, to places that are supposed to help me, I've recorded mandated reporter after mandated reporter playing stupid, sending me in a bunch of different directions, and literally none of them will let me speak. It is never okay to speak over the victim. It is never okay to sell a false narrative over the victim, ever. Let the victim speak. I am the victim here. Let me speak uninterrupted. When I turn these people in, I shouldn't have to do this on YouTube. Folks talk about the need for transparency. Be true to your words, Susan.
That first story, so, and even if I hadn't seen that today, I would have believed anything that you said about him because I was watching him at Safeway when he's out there begging for money. And yeah, he actually, yeah, you can see it.
Yes, ma'am. There was a... Now, she did elaborate on that the first time she called. I had to explain to her several times while she was rambling through it the first time. Hey, I need you to calm down. This is the stuff that needs to be turned into the police. I don't need people to tell me this, you know, and then tell it differently a year down the road when they're pissed off at me because I spoke up. A couple of people over there that had some not so nice things to say, but for the most part, he wasn't doing anything illegal over there. So, yeah, the panhandling over there wasn't illegal, and it would have been if the cops had done their jobs. It's not just a protection order. I can't take care of myself. Instead of doing something to help me stop the abuse, I am petrified. I can't function because of it. Anybody can scream at me, yell at me, call me racial slurs, assault me, threaten my life, threaten my friends' lives, threaten my family's lives. I have verification from my friends and family on this YouTube channel about people threatening to kill them and their children. Daniel Larson, NYC13, types understood. Hey, Daniel, the last video I posted up, it's got your name on it. And what you typed in the last video about me making autistic retard noises. Fuck you, Daniel Larson, you fucking piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck off my channel and don't ever... It's not a fucking joke, dude! It's a fucking shitty thing to do! You fucking cunt! You're a fucking piece of shit and a fucking troll! It was fucking a joke! This is not fucking funny! You piece of shit! Get the fuck out of here with your goddamn jokes! It's not a goddamn joke, you fucking piece of shit! He typed, it's funny to me. That's why this motherfucker's toast. He's gone. No more of this bullshit. No more of it. These people think it's fucking funny. After taking a screenshot, hide user on this channel, blam, he's fucking gone. You tell me it's my fault. My fault that people abuse me because I speak up about the abuse. It's my fault, right? It's always my fault. If people harm me, I'm told that it's not their fault, right? It's nobody else's fault. It must be my fault when people assault me. It must be my fault when people slander my name. It must be my fault when people are on drugs. It must be my fault when people beat children. It must be, mustn't it? See, the thing is that the police and tides of change, all of these places, they've got all of these rooms. And I keep getting sent around to one room to the next, to the next, to the next. And I've got no advocate to help me to get a room. I have to record everywhere I go because I'm going to be talked over. I'm going to have to make the phone calls myself, and I can't. I can't function to do that. I will be talked over. You will take advantage of every single lull in the conversation. And it doesn't need to be a conversation. You need to listen to the victim. Be true to your words. Be true to your words. All these people coming to me and telling me that they saw this and they saw that and sending me screenshots and calling me up and saying they saw my stalker. Then be true to your words and help me to turn it in. Don't downplay it. Don't tell me those things in a serious way, and then when we speak to the professionals, you downplay it immediately. Don't do it. Susan wanted to make excuses for my stalker, that because I wasn't in my car, it wasn't really stalking me. That's what she told that lady. The victim's advocacy lady, who wouldn't do anything because the cops hadn't done anything about any of the abuse against me in this town. Apparently, it's all legal. So if I have to ask Susan why it is that she wanted to intentionally harm me. Why is it that she intentionally told me something that now she's not coming forward with? Why is it that in all of that time that she was going to help me, that she didn't show up and didn't show up and didn't show up and didn't show up? Why is it that I have so many recordings with her? Because I've been trying to get help for a long time. I have a lot of recordings in this town with a lot of people who ripped me off. Susan didn't rip me off. Not for money anyway, just my time. And of course, this is classic gaslighting. Of course she's going to believe me. I've got a shit ton of fucking proof of it. And even in just a few minutes of being able to send that stuff, she was able to see it. I had sent that stuff, that's right, before he got those court papers. Why is it? I went to her repeatedly about him. I went to Bishop at the fireworks stand about him. I went to Tillamook Police Department about him. I went to Tides of Change about him. And all they could do was talk over me while we were in an office and not let me get a word in. If I did get a word in, then there was always some bullshit excuse that they'd shoot over the top of what I was saying. Instead of listening to the victim and making sure that they know who it is that it needs to go to, by listening to the victim, not interrupting the victim and dictating what the victim can and cannot say. And many of the ways that they do that is simply by talking over the victim. They talk over when the victim tells an actual detail, and you can hear them getting frantic about it. I have to be afraid to go in alone because although these people are telling me, they're not in any big hurry to turn it in. The problem with Logan and Shayna is that they were afraid to go to the police on multiple occasions. They were witnesses to multiple occasions where I stuck around and took the heat. When Daniel put his foot through that window, I saw him do it. All right, that's not entirely true. I got there just in time to hear the glass, and me and Logan and Shayna went around to see what the fuck it was because we were at the drinking fountain. They ran away immediately. They didn't want to get in trouble. That's right, they didn't want to get in trouble for witnessing a crime because they're street people. I recorded their words a lot and a lot of other people's words too. You don't like that I recorded it? You shouldn't have taken advantage of me. You shouldn't have lied to me. You shouldn't have misled the situation. Now, did this situation happen? Or was Susan gaslighting me? See, while she was procrastinating, I don't just try to get help from just one person. I know that most people are complete and total bullshitters. They're lying out their ass. I've got hundreds of people recorded talking about how afraid they are of the police. You should be more afraid of my mouth than my camera. You should be more afraid of my memory, my evidence, and my audio recording devices. While your solutions were to kill people. And where you said that if it was a friend or family of yours that came to you about heinous crimes, you'd turn it in right away. You know exactly what to do. You know exactly who to call. And because you didn't, and you made me do it alone as a homeless and disabled male, you guaranteed that I would be victimized by telling me things that you did not tell the courts and you did not tell the police. What did you do in that scenario? After eating up all of that time, after calling me about my predator, about my stalker, that I had been going to her for months about. The police will help out anyone who makes any claim about me whatsoever. They won't ask to see evidence. You want to pretend I'm a bad person because I get angry and I speak up. Well, that's horrible. Because people are allowed to get angry at me. They're allowed to bully me. They're allowed to threaten and harass me and intimidate me. Police are just going to pretend that it didn't happen. Well, that guy's trying to race with something. I don't know what. He's probably about 60 years old. I guess he's feeling his age and wanting to act young. For me, I have to be afraid of anybody at all, who has so little disrespect or so little respect for me that they're going to talk over me. Someone who has so little respect for me that they're going to intentionally mislead me. If you're going to do the same thing as my predators, I'm going to give you the same treatment as my predators. I'm going to expose you publicly. When it got to the point where I had to start recording live no matter what, wherever I go, I told people that. I record everything. Now, in order to go through all of the evidence, to write down all the times and dates, I need to sit down with my computer and be able to look at it. It can't be done over the phone from me being stuck inside of my vehicle with somebody else on the other end of the line doing the writing for me. How about give me a room so I can sit down in quiet and write it myself? How about you exit the room and let me do it myself while we're there? How about allow me the use of the room instead of telling me that you can't? Well, if you can't do it, then that creates a safety issue where people can easily victimize me over and over and over. If you're going to tell me about my predator, but you're not going to help me turn it in, you're playing head games. That's all you're doing. If I have to beg you to go in with me to turn it in, then you are not a good person. Every time that you don't keep your word to show up, it's a betrayal of trust to the victim. When you eat up the time that you have set aside for the victim and you want to eat it up talking about yourself, you're showing that you have no respect for the victim. You think it's scary when I yell, but I'm not allowed to be scared when people yell at me. I'm not allowed to be scared when people threaten to kill me, my friends, or family. I'm not allowed to be afraid when police are allowed to destroy their body cameras in order to hide the fact that they fucking lied. When you're homeless, that story is commonplace. When I went to people for help about this, they made it a pissing contest. What would Eileen have done if her daughters were being stalked by this man? What would Susan have done if her children were stalked by this man? What did my father do while I was being stalked by that man in Hood River? What did my father do? He tried to bribe me to take down evidence. Boy, did he fuck up. My dad just wanted to bully me. Susan did not intend on bullying me. She just showed her true colors, the same as Natalie Bollinger, the same as Alicia Bollinger, the same as Maddie Boa. You know, I'm glad for the fact that she's sober because she's at least slightly more credible than Shannon Alvarado. But Shannon Alvarado, you get to hear conversation after conversation how, yes, the situation with Kara Johnson Miles, I told the truth about that. And yes, I told the truth about how she literally never tried to turn it in. She told me that one time she called a news station. Really? See, that's the thing about gaslighting someone. Giving out someone else's personal information. Who gave out my email to those stalkers before Natalie was killed? Who gave out my phone number to those stalkers before Natalie was killed? Who did that? The reason I'm never able to face my accusers is because I live in a country full of cowards and selfish people. I'll try to believe you to a point. But when somebody is being abused and they need help turning it in, they need help turning it in right away. Yes, we need to call the police. Yes, I need help filling out the paperwork to turn them in. And yes, I need a place to go through it if we're going to write down all the times and the dates. And I need to be able to use my computer because trying to search on it through the phones and the phone options is damn near impossible. But you see, I find a lot of the stuff I'm looking for, don't I? And you see how when I post it up immediately, how it's seen. How people can't take it back and they can't hide it. And when they want to pretend that it didn't happen, it's right there for everyone to see. All they have to do is look. I know there's a lot of it. That's why I need a safe place to go through it. A safe place means that I'm not stuck with alcoholics who are entertained by shows about death and jokes about rape and murder. The internet is a nasty place for a person to have to go. After I hurt my back, it's the only place I could go to even talk to my friends in person who are in Boulder, Colorado. After I hurt my back, I had to depend on my phone, that little flip phone. There were so many people involved in that, so many people that I reached out to for help. Missy didn't try acting like an adult. She played victim when she fucked up and had her husband call me to bully me, and he did a horrible job. No, it's not Missy's fault, or at least not all Missy's fault. She's one of at least 100 people that I reached out to for help over the abuse before Natalie was killed. They all wanted to tell me different things, and if I didn't do what they wanted, they threw a tantrum, or in the case of Veronica Bruce, she was too fucking drunk. Shannon Alvarado said that she would help me to turn this in, and she was never true to her word. She literally never made a single call with me to turn these crimes in. Never once. A lot of people want to tell me about things they did after the fact. You procrastinated and procrastinated and procrastinated, and my predator had access to me again and again and again because of it. I've taken screenshots of thousands of fake accounts and fake profiles made to harass me since Natalie's death. No matter what, I'm told that it's my fault, that I have had to do desperate things to try to get heard. You see how every attempt to turn in law enforcement turns into, oh, that's not law enforcement's job. It's mental health's job. And mental health says that's not mental health's job, that's the cop's job. And just that one exchange there is enough to allow the predator to get away. I go in person to see these people, and I'm told, why didn't you call 911? When I did. Or the police were already there, or the police started it. My public pretenders wouldn't do their jobs to call my friends, to call my witnesses, to requisition evidence, body cams. They just let people hurt me and did nothing. They let people harm me in the jails and in the prisons, and they did nothing. And all of the clerical errors that have deprived me of my rights, all they have to do is make a clerical error or two, and magically no crime was committed against me. Oh, it was an honest mistake. No, it wasn't. You don't make that many honest mistakes. A lot of people promised to help me if I kept their name safe, but they didn't keep their words. This forces me to go to druggies, drug addicts, drug dealers. When you don't come forward, that's what it forces me into. When Kayla Trujillo didn't come forward, when Chelsea Worsing didn't come forward, when Dee Dee Klang didn't come forward, when Alex Furman didn't come forward, when Brandon Ratner didn't come forward. Imagine if Brandon Ratner was treated like a druggie for smoking pot. Treated like a out of his fucking mind meth addict because he smoked pot. He transferred marijuana across state lines. That's a federal crime. Lucky he didn't get pulled over. If he'd have gotten pulled over with me in the vehicle, what was our contingency plan? That I was going to take the blame for it. Because if he got his vehicle towed, I was fucked. They wanted to eat up a lot of time with the mentally ill thing. Mentally ill, mentally ill. Try to have me stamped as schizophrenic or delusional or psychotic for having a mental breakdown from abuse. A mental fucking breakdown from abuse. And that includes psychological abuse. You don't think that it was hurtful for Natalie's predators to get a hold of me, curse at me, yell at me? I didn't threaten to kill Natalie or her friends and family in Virginia. They lied, but they didn't need any evidence. They just said it and it must be true. Even with all the evidence on Facebook that showed that I told the truth, even then, the police did the vigilante bullshit, lied to me, and sent me to mental health. Natalie Bollinger lied, and so did Alicia lie when they said that I was arrested. I wasn't arrested. I was taken to the hospital because I was fucking dehydrated. I've shown my paperwork on that time and again. You guys want to tell me stuff like, why don't you just let it go? I can't. I can't take care of myself. And my disability money that was supposed to be going to take care of me was robbed by the people that were supposed to help me. Like Ken Wilson and Leatha Plunkett. They were supposed to help me not take advantage of my disability money. Supposed to help me to turn in my predators, not take advantage of my disability money. They're supposed to help me turn it in, not take advantage of my disability money. When I was getting phone call after phone call after phone call from Natalie's boyfriend, I had no way to prove it was him. I had no way to prove what was said in the phone calls. They were short. When I threatened to kill the people who threatened to kill me and my friends and family, that wasn't until August of 2018. Will and Lola Ty was still hurting people. Be true to your words. We'll play the situation from Logan and Shayna too. We've played that already several times. When was I ever charged with murder? Ever. When was I ever charged with child molestation or rape? When? When? I tried to turn in people who committed crimes against me, and they got special and preferential treatment. I just wanted these people to leave me alone, to stop assaulting me, to stop calling me a child molester and a rapist, to stop claiming that I raped 2 little girls in Virginia, to stop claiming that I stalked people that I did not stalk. Shannon Alvarado exposed Kara Johnson Miles to me, but never to this day has she ever tried to turn it in. Matter of fact, what she wants to do is bully me. She wants to continually change the subject to bully me over and over again. Because when she didn't help me to turn that in right away, I was treated like I was a liar. I was treated like I made it up. Like I was lying about Shannon Alvarado, turning that into me, but to no one else. And instead of helping me to turn it into the police, all she wanted to do is say that she couldn't because she was in the wrong state. That very predator, Kara Johnson Miles, was able to turn things in from Texas. By the way, crimes that I did commit. Crimes that I literally had to commit. You cannot make me feel ashamed for telling on my fucking predators. That reputation for me will follow me for the rest of my life, because not one of my friends cared to do a goddamn thing about it except tell me what to do and make me do it myself. That is never okay. These people say they don't know what to do. What are you supposed to do when your friend or family member comes to you and says that they're being abused? You help them to turn it in right away. When it's an at-risk or disabled adult, we're at the topmost tier of abuse in this country. The disabled, the homeless, and men. And the people most likely to be abused into homelessness, it's a lot of us. But women are more likely to get help getting up and out. It's not that I didn't reach out to my friends for help. It's they didn't care. They pretended to. They told me to go here and go there, and every place they told me to go, I did my damnedest to go to. Until I was all out of money. And then I was told I didn't try hard enough. These people became predatory towards me. Because I told the truth. I was forced to tell the truth publicly because police wouldn't do anything. Send me around in circles for mental health. How am I going to afford to do any of the things that I need to do to turn in these predators? How am I going to be able to see my loved ones with all these predators? And how am I possibly spending all this money to go around to all these different therapists who aren't doing jack shit? Why is it that you can't let me have the room? For a whole year before Natalie was killed, why is it that Nicole Peralta couldn't just let me have the room? They're going to talk over and do it for me. No, they're not. They're going to do it improperly. They're going to shorthand it. Be true to your words. Once you become predatory towards me, all bets are off. If you're going to tell me this, and then you're going to procrastinate, and procrastinate, and procrastinate. No. When she said she could go in that day, that once, instead of blowing me off until next week, she finally said she'd go in with me that day, and we went in that day. What she told me that day We should have turned in immediately. I posted it on the internet to show that it happened, but I needed her to go in with me, or I'm going to get blown off by the cops. She showed that she's not true to her word, that her excuses were just excuses. The longer it took her to take it seriously, the more harm came to me, the more this man was allowed to do this here in Tillamook. And it's not just her. I needed her to go in with me to help me get the process started. Once it's started, they're supposed to assign someone to me. The thing is, she got no clout. She wanted to call me up and say something that she knew was going to put me in a state of panic, in a state of fear, knowing that it's very important evidence and a witness. Did she do it to antagonize the situation, or did it really happen? Everyone should have the right to face their accusers. Everyone should be entitled to actual legal counsel, even if they're broke. Instead of people who are going to bully them as a rubber stamp for the state. I can't take care of myself. I can't defend myself. I can't protect myself. When people commit crimes against me, I just have to take it. I didn't get much sleep last night for obvious reasons. Don't play fucking head games with me. Don't fucking lie to me. It's frustrating for me too, but you're allowed to just walk away. I can't. And neither can your words. You said them. You be true to your words. Shannon Alvarado needed to be true to her words. Graham Milborn needed to be true to his words. They want to be angry because they're recorded and on my channel. They should have thought about that. It's not safe for me to go to sleep here. It's not safe for me to go to sleep anywhere. I'll have to worry that if I go to sleep, the officers would come smash down my window before I have a chance to start recording. The police didn't try talking to the witnesses, and the witnesses made literally zero effort to talk to the police in most of these situations. We went to the place we were sent to. It's not safe for me to be sent to my gang rapists, to turn in my gang rapists. And that's what the Tillamook police are. They're gang rapists. Gang raping the poor. Gang raping the disabled. Gang raping at-risk adults. Gang raping people who are easy to take advantage of. Gang rape. Gang rape. Gang rape. Gang rape. I want you to get those words through your head. Teresa Macelia was abused in Boulder, same as me. She said the way that she was treated by Boulder Police Department after she was raped was worse than the rape itself. It was worse than being raped. And it is. It is worse than being raped. Because your intentions don't matter. Who you are as a human being doesn't matter. You're a fucking hobo. How dare you go to the cops? How dare you think that the rights of the Constitution are for you? Oh, you want to try turning this in? Now you're mentally ill. When I try to explain that these people bullied me until I wanted my life to end, and I still do. You bully me for that too. You're all disgusting people. You see how much hatred there is for me? You see how afraid I have to be, and still I speak up every day. Thank you, Susan, for being another Judas. This is the reason I don't believe in God. Only the possibility of one. Susan's a Christian. Or so she claims, but she's not showing Christian, is she? She's not showing believer in Christ. She's not showing love one another as I have loved you. What is she showing? Cowardice, manipulation, boredom. There's a lot of people I made plans with over and over and over again, and they just didn't show up and didn't show up and didn't show up. In some of those situations, it was okay. I didn't show up either. I wasn't able to. The real question is, if these people told me these things, why didn't they tell the police? With him stalking my vehicle even when I'm not there, that's kind of the point. These people can do anything to me at any point they want to. They can do anything to my vehicle or my evidence that they want to. If I try to turn them in, they can arrest me under bogus charges. Make up any excuse to arrest me, any excuse. Why it's wrong for me to call the cops, why it's wrong for me to call 911. When I have to turn in my predators to my predators, it is not okay to make me fill out a police report and take it to them. Especially not alone. You should be true to your words. Now let's hope that Officer Sadler didn't fuck up. Let's hope it actually was Susan that he talked to. Let's hope that she actually is safe. Let's hope she was just being a stupid, backstabbing cunt. That I can handle a lot better than someone dying. Mobley being a backstabbing cunt, that hurt. When he died, that hurt worse. Natalie being a backstabbing cunt, that hurt. When she died, that hurt worse. Ran Ingersoll being a backstabbing cunt, that hurt. Her dying, that hurt worse. Christine Buhit stabbing me in the goddamn back. Yeah, that hurt. But her dying hurts a lot fucking worse. Be true to your words. When I wasn't able to be true to mine, it's because I was being lied to, manipulated, or fucking broke. People promised to help me, and they took their dear sweet fucking time. Oh, be patient, be patient, be patient. No, being patient when an at-risk adult is being abused is the same as saying you don't give a shit. It's the same as saying you don't care who hurt them, you're going to let them get away with it. And you're going to let them get treated like they didn't try to get help. You get to hear all these people that won't go to the police. David here yesterday at the library. He'd rather talk to the guy about it. Well, the guy stalked me here from Hood River, and I'm petrified of it. I called the cops like I was supposed to. It still needs to be turned in, and I have no ability to turn it in alone. Eli said that he'd help me turn it in, but no, he didn't. Instead, he made me turn it in alone. His excuse was that he had too much metal on. He repeatedly didn't show up either, but you know what? I was also a witness to him being victimized by Officer Reeves. And his words about the situation. Shannon Alvarado and Susan both ended up on my channel for the same reason. It's just that Susan doesn't have alcohol to fall back on as an excuse for her shitty behavior. If it happened, you be true to your words. I post in public for a reason, and I post live for a reason. Past experiences with past abuse with law enforcement covering for other law enforcement agencies. When a woman is charged with child abuse, usually they drop the charges against her and try finding a man to blame. God bless America. I can't function on no sleep. You see why this keeps me in a situation where I'm constantly in panic. Most of the people that I can talk to are either on drugs or schizophrenic as fuck. At least I speak up. Knowing that there are consequences, I still speak up. Knowing that there are consequences for using the First Amendment, I still speak up. Is threatening to kill people covered by First Amendment speech? The thing is that my predators wanted to claim as abuse, such as a squirt gun. They claimed I was threatening to shoot them because I had a squirt gun to defend myself against people like Derek Apodaca and many others who assaulted me, while calling me a chimo. That's right. Not one person, child or adult, has come forward to accuse me of molesting them or raping them. Not one. I tried letting Natalie and Alicia know how I was being treated. That I was being treated like a child molester. They didn't care. They didn't care what kind of rumors Maddie Boa spread, as long as they didn't have to pay the piper. Well, Natalie did eventually have to pay the piper, didn't she? Nobody lives forever. But my predators pretend that anything that I say is a threat. If they act like that, it's magically okay. If I act like that, by the way, Tyler Crabtree just walked by with his girlfriend. Didn't give me any problems whatsoever. Timothy Sadler this morning, what a goddamn douchebag he was. I don't take evidence down. Maybe I got it wrong, but given the circumstances, it's understandable why. Right after she told him, right after she confronted him, he realized that the gig was up. That he had to try to get paperwork in before me. But I had to wait for, I had to wait for Susan to have time. We're going to post up Amanda Kayak's number here in a minute, too. Be true to your words. Be true to your words. See how much better we got? 8%. Nobody. Now, this one was called Susan Encountered My Stalker from Hood River, getting her words recorded here in Tillamook. For months, staying in the parking lot there in Hood River with a busted vehicle, having to deal with Murphy every night because the cops wouldn't do anything about him. Why would they? They're the ones that told Murphy that I was doing drugs with that dude in my vehicle, that me and him was friends. Police have told people that I was wanted for murder. I'm not wanted for murder. I'm not wanted for murder. I've never been to jail for murder. I also don't own any firearms. I don't possess any firearms. I don't keep any firearms. And other than the firearm that I was forced to make in Chapel, Nebraska, well, you see how trying to turn that in turned out. When I was finally able to get a room for 7 days in Sidney, Nebraska, so that I could finally have some peace and quiet away from Dallas Richmond and Harley Richmond and their fucking screaming and their constant obsession with fucking stupid shit, loud noises, screaming. But if I scream, it's wrong, isn't it? If I speak out, it's wrong, isn't it? If I treat my predators the way they treat me, it's wrong, isn't it? You say two wrongs don't make a right. Well, if a wrong is considered a right, and then you do it, and it's wrong, then you've just proved that wrong is wrong. If it's wrong for me, it's wrong for my predators. If it's wrong for me to do it back, it's wrong for my predators to do it to begin with. If it's wrong for me to say it back, it's wrong for my predators to say it to me to begin with. Savvy? I can't talk on this anymore. I'm too exhausted and too scared.